Welcome, Sojourners. This is The Burning Beacon, Part 4, Moonglow's Sacrifice, starring Felthrin Grovelor, the Dwarven Fighter, Garandan Greybeard, the Dwarven Cleric, Bramble Heartwood, the Hinfolk Scout, Hay, the Human Warlock, and Zariel, the Tiefling Druid. Although this was a lot to take in, it seems like the information between the ethereal plane is suddenly downloaded into your consciousness. You become faintly aware. Hey, you begin to have these faint dreams and visions of this unicorn speaking to you. As your eyes go dark and your breathing becomes shallow. The Marilith's turn. Felthrin, she's going to take swipes at you.
Bring it.
You are grappled. You are grappled, so she has advantage. 20. Natural 20. 6. 15.
Oh, warding flare the natural 20.
So that's just 4. 52
yes.
points of slashing damage to you, Felthrin.
Okay, wait. So my armor class is still 20. So 20 hits. So the two 20s hit, and then the two shorter ones.
So only 2 hits.
Correct.
26 points of slashing damage to you then.
All right.
Garandan, she's going to take the rest at you as her right arms just slide through. No advantage, actually. 19, 21, 13, and 14.
The first two get me.
26 points of slashing damage to you. She shrieks out and says, "Where is the angel?" She's tearing through each of you, Felthrin. She holds a blade over Hay's body and says, "Tell me where the unicorn is. Where did he put it?" And she looks to you, Felthrin.
I see what you see.
Then your eyes are useless and I will put them out. Bramble, it is now your turn.
Bramble is feeling the desperation of the situation. I think he's going to disengage and jump across the lava and then pull out a greater healing potion and drink it. So that does, I pre-rolled the potion, that's 17 points of healing back.
This particular area, you find the most strategic, navigable route. You jump on one rock and you quickly jump on another, skating across the lava, feeling its heat, downing this potion. Do you remember where you got it?
It was pretty recent. I think it was after we got to Avernus, but I don't remember when.
Okay. As you open it up, it pops open and begins chanting this infernal hymn, this song, this battle cry to Zariel. "We are the Infernal Legion, pushing back the hordes of the abyss." And you see Sergeant McCormick run up to you and pat you on the back and say, "Hey, save some for your sergeant."
I think that's it for me, though.
Okay, Garandan, how would you like to spend your turn?
So as the Marilith attacked Garandan, he put his shield up, but it kind of knocked it out of his hands on the ground, and he's got another scuff right across the Morning Lord symbol. And looking around in desperation, he just starts weeping and crying out to Lathander at the shield, at this symbol. And he feels the power of the crown of light settling on his head, and he gets an extra spell slot from that shield, and he casts his 9th level 700 healing again on everyone.
The light begins to flood through this area and it rains forth this dawn. The very sons of Avernus seem to shake in their boots. Sergeant McCormick shields his eyes a little bit and says,
Hey, if you are done telling a bedtime story, maybe we can get back to fighting the fight. What's a little pain? What's a little blood?
how much healing does everyone receive?
Be 105 for me.
If I calculated it right, it's 700 divided by 6.
Yeah.
A max of 116 each.
Okay. I didn't need that much. I only needed like 80.
Only. I took most of it.
A quick question from me. I think healing, magical healing, also stops blood loss, correct?
Yes, you are currently still missing your arm as it
Yeah,
has
oh, yeah.
floated away into the lava pit.
It's in the lava.
Okay.
That sucks. Captain Hook.
Call me Bernie.
Um,
And that'll end my turn.
that's quite a turn.
Is that all?
Yeah. Everyone should feel incredibly invigorated at this point. Nevertheless, it is. Hey, now it's your turn. Hey, if you would describe a minute of just how this feels like coming back from this brink, and just pause for a minute and let's see Hayes' reaction to this whole situation.
His mind has been slipping there on the brink of the chasm, and as the heat boils up around him, he finds himself wishing, oh, how he wishes that he could be back with the lady where it was cool, and just to feel a little comfort before he leaves life. But then when the healing hits him, it feels like a blanket of coolness that has settled on him. And completely reinvigorated, he sits up, shakes his head, and then feels strong enough to just leap up into action and go after the Merilith. And so he is going to lead. Go ahead.
No, what a fearsome sight. Hay just slowly standing up off one knee, finally facing down the Merilith.
That's
yet
right.
again.
And his eyes are now purple. They're not black. They're just like, they have some red mixed in also. And he slings one hand forward first, and Hex comes flying out, and this brand appears on her forehead momentarily and then sinks into her skin. That's followed immediately by Eldritch Blast. We are level 17, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I get 4 attacks with Eldritch Blast.
Going for 19.
Yeah. The first one is a 26, 27, 28, and 18.
Boom, 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 boom. 3 blasts forward, and she parries one off with her longsword that takes 3 in the chest as she tries to maintain this grapple against this old dwarf. Take your damage.
39 plus a d6. Another 1, so 40 points of damage. Oh, and I also get to affect with Hex, I get to affect one of her abilities. I'm going to affect her dexterity. So she will roll with disadvantage on dexterity saves.
Nice. What a setup you have done. You blast forth with one of your arms, just like a machine gun, tossing this eldritch energy from the Feywild. I can see it now. But let us move on to the demons. Zariel, you are now accosted by 2 Chasmes. They leap at you from the sky, attempting to take you out from your position. So, as an eagle, I would like you to make 2 Constitution saving throws as they try to buzz you with this horrible, noxious energy.
The D20?
Yep, and make a Constitution save.
All right. 19 for the D20.
Good. Do another one.
All right. 11.
That is a fail. Okay, so So you take 44 points of damage. And what they do is they converge on you, and just like Night at the Roxbury, they get in between you and they just start buzzing back and forth, sending you these vibrations, and you're just pounded back and forth, these two mosquitoes. They're trying to knock you out a little bit so they can attach their proboscis into your skin, and they're just trying to figure out you being this eagle. But here's the thing. With 44 points of damage you took, you now return as Zariel.
Okay.
And I think you were 60 feet up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Ugh.
And you are over the lava pit.
I'm pretty sure there's a stiff breeze.
He's got wings.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Zariel does have wings.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah, so you just land back and forth, and all of a sudden this tiefling appears right between the chasmes, and you hear one of them say in Abyssal, "Oh, it's a tiefling. I love the way they taste." And how do you respond?
How do I respond?
It's your turn, so go ahead.
I am, first of all, I'm gonna use pass without a trace, and I'm high skipping out of there.
Okay.
While I'm good with machines, right? Hell machines, right?
Yes.
I can go towards the beacon.
Okay.
I want to get towards the
It's
beacon.
about time.
That's where I want to go.
You are at the beacon. You are going to get one opportunity attack, though.
All right.
That's going to be a 22, so go ahead and take 10 points of damage as one just slashes you to the side.
Ow.
You take it on the side, and you just dive bomb with your wings flapping. You are at the burning beacon. You still have an action, so what would you like to do?
Mm-hmm. What can I do?
The first step to activate. Well, the first step to activating it is you see it needs to be pushed to right. It's going to be a strength check.
All right. I roll a D20, right?
Want to do it?
I'll do
It's a
it.
D20. Luckily, there's no demon sitting its fat butt on top of it.
Sweet.
All right.
17.
You're going for a 20. 17 plus what?
Strength
It should be
check.
an athletics check.
17 plus 1?
So here's what's happened.
Equals 20.
Here's the thing. As Zariel begins to lift up the beacon, you see he's doing it, and then his arms just lock. And he's holding it upright, and his arms are starting to shake, and you can see that the beacon is now at risk of just collapsing on top of him. Zariel, you're holding it upright, however, it is not completely finished. But you know what's going to happen? Sergeant McCormick's going to do you a solid one. He's like,
All right, now listen. You're not very smart. So in that empty space between your ears, perhaps we could just stuff it with the beacon and hold it upright. How about that?
Hey, whatever gets the job done, we need to get this beacon on
he's going
real
to help
fast.
you. Okay, so we're going to try go and roll another strength check with advantage then.
All right. Oh, Lord. Here we go. 19 again.
Plus one.
Vice one is 20.
That's a 20, so that'll
That's
do
good.
it. All right, so you and Sergeant McCormick have successfully righted this beacon.
About time.
Not a moment too soon. For now, it is Felthrin's turn. You are still grappled.
I'm still grappled, but now I'm Felthrin trying to break the grapple.
Ooh, touche.
That's a 22.
Felthrin just tears straight through this skin.
All right. I don't have any bonus actions, so
You have movement.
I do have movement.
The second step to the beacon would be to calculate the runes to activate it.
I don't think Felthran's leaving this Maryland. I think he's going to stay here, and he's going to yell. He's going to yell.
You guys get the beacon. I'll take care of this ugly thing.
Felthrin, your muscles start to glisten with sweat as you stand your ground, drawing the attention of the Marilith. Very upset that you've broken one of her scales. She does pay attention to you at this moment.
Good.
Moonglow's turn. In the ethereal plane, Moonglow is now safe. Let's see, Bramble. You get a chill down your spine. And you hear that voice again. Oh, hello, little one. Looks like I have nimbleness too and can fit in the space of a friendly creature. And Moonglow's ethereal, ghost-like presence moves right next to you. Bramble, you are now aware of the ghostly presence of the celestial being and have a telepathic link to it. It is now the Marilith's turn. At the top of the round, Marilith is angrily going to go against Felthrin. You have broken her tail, so she is no longer able to grapple. Slathering on the ground like a lizard, she begins to just slash at you with all her long swords. That's going to be 21, 28, 2 14s, a 20, and a 23.
It's 4 hits.
52 points of slashing damage. She takes out all her ire and rage and slashes against you. Now we're moving on to Bramble.
Is that all you got?
Bramble will hop up onto the beacon, try to locate the controls,
Okay.
and see if this telepathic link with Moonglow can get him through the fact that he can't read anything, doesn't understand what's going on.
Okay, wonderful. All right, Bramble, you see this, you come up to this control panel and you see these series of arcane celestial runes, and you know that it's much like a keyboard in which you have to program a certain code in. And as you get closer, you get this strange whiff, and you place your fingers on the keypad and you pull back this sticky substance. And it's briny and pickly and smells like pickled frog eyes. And as you pull your finger away, you see that your finger has gone invisible, as this sticky substance has made you invisible for the time being.
Ooh.
Camouflaged. Well, at least your 2 fingers that you placed on there. And then you see that sticking on the keypad is a small gold circlet, about the size of an earring, with a very familiar drow insignia. What comes to mind when Bramble sees all this?
Bramble's not happy that Smiler has been here. May still be here somewhere. I think he's going to... He's going to take a moment to pause and try to perceive if Smiler is still around using blind sense.
Okay. He is. Creeping over a corner, you see his sniveling body moving behind a rock, and he's cursing, and you can, along with your passive perception of 30-something, you gather that he says, "Oh, blast it all. I'm not dead yet. Mad Maggie will be furious." And he begins to pull his longbow out, and he's aiming for you.
Can I do a reaction?
Yes, let me tell Bramble this. You see that to activate the runes, it would require a successful Arcana check of a very difficult nature. I'm going to say, since you're not a spellcaster, it's going to be disadvantage.
I would like to attempt.
Oh, hold on there, little one. Press the on button first.
Oh, right.
And you get a straight roll now, since the Moonglow helped you out.
Oh.
Okay, so a lot of things are happening. Bramble not able to take on every single information. He failed to see the loose wire that is zapping forward and risking electric shock, because he used his passive perception to sense Smiler, who is taking aim at Bramble at this point right now. Bramble, knowing the danger, is progressing forward with activating the rune. Is that true?
28.
28. Bramble, you are successful. Please describe how this happens.
He closes his eyes and gets that, like, once he's got that nudge from Moonglow, he closes his eyes and quickly recollects something that he has looked at before, some diagram. He doesn't know what any of the symbols mean, but he's seen something similar before. So he's kind of, with a little nudge from Moonglow over here and there, his fingers are just flying over the keyboard. And he got it.
And you begin to hear it activate, but failing to see the electrical cable just spinning back and forth. Go ahead and make a dex save, DC 18.
Plenty.
96.
Okay. Yeah, you take 9 electrical damage. Lightning damage. Just kind of like whack, hits you off the side, and Zariel wanted to react to something. Zariel, if you would proceed.
All right. Well, my original goal was to use Hellish Rebuke against the gentleman that was about to attack Bramble. That's a reaction.
Okay. I will allow it. So here's what happens. Zariel, you see at the same time, you see Smiler the Defiler. Oh, you remember him. The lackey, the elf who works for Mad Maggie, is just coming back to clean up this mess, to make sure the Sojourners are not successful in this suicide mission. Seeing that you are indeed progressing forward and turning on the beacon, Bramble now knows it was most likely Smiler who deactivated the beacon in the first place. Nevertheless, the arrow flies true, and it was a 24 to hit Bramble. 55 points of piercing damage. The bolt hits you in the shoulder. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw to withstand the poison. You can use your Hellish Rebuke. Zariel, you light up Smiler in flames. What do you say to rebuke him?
Go and tell Maggie to shove it.
Beautiful. And go ahead, and I think it's how much D10 damage do you get to roll?
All right. That is a 5.
We're going to multiply that by 4, so 20 points of fire damage as Smiler just erupts into flames, and and you watch as he tumbles forward on this cliff and begins to fall down. Boom, landing on the ground in a smoking pile of ash. And then he slowly pulls over to the side, clutching his chest, breathing hard upon the floor of Avernus. Bramble, you begin to feel this poison take place. You take another 10 points of poison damage. However, you are not poisoned. You are getting quite used to the toxins here within Avernus. Indeed. Bramble, what a round. With lastly but to place Moonglow within the beacon to activate the charge, and then as Zariel so astutely pointed out, to get away from the blast radius, you now hear it. The roar of demons. They are pouring forth. Too numerous to count, 10, 20. As the pressure is put upon you, believe it is Garandan's turn. What would you like to do?
As the tears for his friends kind of start drying on his cheeks in this hot weather, the new tears for joy start coming from what happened from Lathander and the power of healing that he felt leave his body. And as he's looking at his shield, he sees these spirit guardians just start pouring out. These angelic beings from the Dawnbringers are just pouring out into a 15-foot radius and helping his friends in this area. Anyone within a 15-foot radius needs to make a wisdom saving throw or take radiant damage. If they fail, they get half the damage, and they're also at half speed.
The
19 is the number you're going for.
19? Okay. The Marilith hits it right at 18. How much damage does she take?
It's 11 radiant damage, and her speed is halved.
Okay. Being a little sluggish, she gets torn through by these spirit guardians. It was radiant damage, you said? She says once again, Yennegu will have his feast, and you will be the appetizer. And she prepares to teleport. Hey, it is now your turn.
With his eyes still blazing that purple, dark color, he says, "You're not going anywhere." And then he points his finger, and one of those low, bassy sounds like you get in movies with an outer space explosion. He stuns her. He uses power word stun. That's one of his ethereal or his eldritch whatevers. You speak a word of power that can overwhelm the mind of one creature you can see within range, leaving it dumbfounded. If the target has 150 hit points or fewer, it is stunned. So that's the big question.
It has 2 hit points.
Okay. Well, she is stunned, and at the end of her next round, at the end of each of its turns, she has a chance to do a Constitution saving throw, but I want her not going anywhere.
Well, Zariel, you see that the Marilith just freezes mid-sentence as Hay points his left hand towards her, silencing her, dumbfounded. You can see she's hanging on by but a thread. So how do you proceed? Oh, no, yeah, Zariel, it's your turn. You're actually holding up the beacon, so you're way over there. So how do you want to proceed with your turn? Sorry.
Okay, so I am holding up the beacon. The sergeant
Yeah.
has the beacon on. Can he handle
Yeah,
it?
you and the sergeant are holding up the beacon, like shoring it up.
Ooh.
You're holding it up, waiting for Moonglow to be placed upon it.
Well, and if I move, it disrupts the whole thing, right?
Yes.
So all I can do is cast a spell. Can I? Is this how far the spells can go? Can it go? Do I have a limited range?
It depends on the spell.
All right. Well then, I want to cast fire. Is it firefly or fire glow?
Fairy fire.
Fairy fire on Marilyn.
Okay.
I need to give everybody a chance to take her out.
Yeah, so as you're holding this up, you begin to speak some words. You stick your free hands for just a moment, and Sergeant says, "Hold on, we're not done yet, soldier. Get your head back in the game." And she has disadvantage on dex saves because of that previous hex. So with a 2, she fails the dex save, and this light sticks to her. And I believe next in the turn is Felthrin and Grovelore. So Felthrin, with advantage, as this creature is stunned,
he's just gonna holler, and he's gonna wing that hammer, and he's going to get plenty to hit. It's 25 to hit with 25 points of bludgeoning and 3 points of lightning.
Making an attempt to teleport, she's stunned by the Warlock of the Feywild. Felthrin Grovelore, if you would please describe the final moments of this Marilith.
So Felthran breaking the tail and taking all of those slashes, almost didn't feel them. Just was, as soon as he broke the grasp and could pick his hammer up again, because it was kind of tucked next to his body, he just whirled around and kind of jumped a little bit to get to be able to hit her high enough in the body. And I think the hammer came down on her neck, and just, you could hear the vertebrae crush, and that was it. And she fell down.
Like squashing a bug on the floor, your hammer falls down and she slams on the ground and begins to melt in a pool of ichor as you send her back to the abyss. This causes each of the demons to stop for a minute as a captain just suffers a loss, but not willing to admit defeat just yet. To still satiate the hunger of Yinagu. It is Moonglow's turn. Moonglow, safely in the ethereal plane, has sidestepped all of the action. Marilith no longer at the top of the round. Bramble, demons are coming close. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're still pouring forth. Your hands flying forth, lighting up and maintaining the concentration on this beacon. Not needing to abandon your post for risk of losing the charge, you can attempt to rewire the frayed wire, and off in the distance you see a smoking ember of Smiler's body.
He dead? I thought you said he was sort of crawling a bit.
He is crawling, yes.
Okay, I think I have a bolt just for him. If I can spare one hand.
But you are okay. Hot shot. You want to do high risk, high reward then?
Sure.
Okay. I'll let you with one hand just typing away at the celestial runes and one hand attempting to end the life of Smiler. You're going for a 15.
As 17 on the die. 14 damage with a silver-tipped arrow.
With the silver-tipped arrow, he kind of reaches forward and stretches out his hand and then sees this bolt coming at him through the palm and into his neck. He lays on the ground, gasping for air, as he is now unconscious. And you didn't see it, but that wire just flying back and forth just zaps you in the side of the neck. You take an 18 points of electrical lightning damage. Garandan, it is now your turn.
So Garandan knows we have to make our escape, right? Before the light goes. All right. Then he's just gonna get to a spot where he's gonna do a prayer of healing, just to kind of give everyone a little head back. Now that his spirit guardians are here, kind of slowing anyone down who comes into this area. I'm gonna redo. Everyone gets 23 points of healing, as he's just saying a prayer of thanks for all that's going on.
You indeed are the praying medic. Hey, it is now your turn.
Okay, as the Merilith disappeared from sight, he shifted the hex to one of the two demons over the chasm.
Okay.
I guess the bottom of the two.
Okay.
And he's going to cast Eldritch Blast at that one. Or he's going to split it between the two that are there over the chasm. 28, 14, 18, 28, and 17.
All of them hit.
Excellent. So on the bottom one, he does 26 points of damage.
That does them in.
On the one above, max damage, 20 plus 28 points of damage. And he is just, his eyes are blazing now.
All right, hey. You are effectively keeping them off. You notice that round after round more to seem to be coming, but for this round, there are 2 less demons who will make their attack. And it is now their turn. 2 of them leap over here. One attacks Sergeant McCormick. One attacks Zariel. Sergeant McCormick gets stabbed in the side with these dretches, natural 20, and a 29 to hit Zariel. Zariel, please take 13 points of damage.
Okay.
Are you still up? Should be.
Barely, yes.
Okay. Because that would be bad if you let go of your post. Felthrin, you're attracting this attention, so you get 3 attacking you. An 18, an 18, and a 20.
20's good.
Yeah, 13 points of damage as these dretches move onto you. And hey, these demons charge at you, jumping over the lake. Or
You
jumping
have to
over the
make
river.
a wisdom saving throw.
Ah. That's a 9 and a 2. How much damage do they take?
27.
Each?
Radiant.
As these dretches, these pig slugs extend their large arms, they jump over the lava river and just get shredded to bits right before they touch into you, and you get splattered on the side as the demon Ichor just splatters against the wall. Garandan,
Nice.
one of them is on, I don't know how he got here, but there's one on this hillside. He just does a dive bomb on top of you. He's going to attack with a 19 to hit.
Is that disadvantage with foresight?
It was a straight roll, yeah.
Oh,
Either
I see.
way, I don't think you actually, I don't think a 19 hits anyway.
19 hits.
19 hits? Okay, all right, 13 points of damage then. And he's on top of you and just tearing at your skin. Okay, that is the end of that round. You hear more coming, the drones of the Chasme mosquitoes. Smiler's gonna make his death save. Zarion, you're doing your part to hold up the beacon. There is but one thing left to do: is place Moonglow successfully on the beacon. Unless someone relieves you, you cannot abandon your post.
Okay. Well. Woo.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make you do a strength saving throw because you've been here for a while.
Yes, I have been. All right. We are at 10.
Okay. You're starting to squat, Bramble. You feel the beacon just kind of like fall to the side. And Sergeant McCormick begins cussing and cursing and kicking you off the side and says,
Get your sorry self back into gear, soldier. We got a job to do.
that is going to present a problem. Can you see the situations that this beacon is toppled over and you're sinking into the ground, one knee on the ground, struggling to hold up your end of the side?
Arms trembling, legs trembling.
Yeah.
Leaning onto the side. I'm calling out for help because
Okay.
this is a problem. One of y'all need to come over here and help with this beacon because I'm about to drop it.
So what you're going to do is use the help action. I think for the first time in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, the player is actually using the help action, which gives the next player advantage on their check.
Nice.
So, Felthrin, that's you.
Yeah, I think Felthran's going to hear Zarian whining and Sergeant yelling, and he's going to run over and take over. So, let me show you how it's done, youngsters. He's going to...
So with advantage, make your athletics check.
And he'll take those 3 attacks of opportunity also.
Yeah.
That's going to be a 30.
So Felthrin, I mean, with flair, please.
He's going to put one hand on the beacon and stand it right back up, and he's going to take the other hand and lightly shove Zarian away and say, I got this, you go do something else.
Well, thanks a lot for that one. That thing's almost crushed me.
All right, so you do take 13 points of damage, Felthrin.
All right.
All right, Moonglow, still in the ethereal plane, nice and safe, says, I do believe that it is about time for me to come back. I must complete my mission, for this is my calling. This is my purpose. Bramble, it is your turn. You have nothing better to do except keep these runes activated, unless someone relieves you.
And do something about the wire.
Yes, you may. That would be it's gonna be a sleight of hand check. Lucky for you.
Yeah. Well, I rolled a 3, so it's a 10 plus 5. Oh, I'm not proficient. Okay. Bummer. 8.
Oof, not at all. So you do take another 8 points of electric damage. With one hand, you just continue trying to activate and take this wire back and forth, and just your teeth start shattering. And next up, Garandan, it's your turn.
How far around is the burning beacon?
100 radius. 100 foot radius.
Oh, it's a 100-foot radius. Oh, okay. Then never mind on that one. Okay.
Wait, you mean the actual tower?
Yeah.
The actual tower, sorry, is only 20 feet. Yeah, it's about 20 feet.
Okay, yeah, no, I can't do that.
Okay. Felthran's pretty strong, but...
Yeah.
I was going to put a wall of fire around it, but it's only a 20-foot radius, and so I didn't want to burn you. Okay. Then he's going to do a flame strike at wherever they're grouped the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those deck saves?
Yeah, and they've got disadvantage because my Corona of Light is on.
All right. I think that's pretty low. 8, 2, and a 1.
Okay, sweet. 4d6, so it's 8d6 of radiant damage. I think they got him.
They're already gone from the map.
Pretty sure.
25 radiant damage.
Yeah, that's like 50 points. All 3 of these dretches come slugging back and forth. So, yeah, on their turn, they're not going to be able to make any more attacks against Felthrin.
Okay.
Hey, you're standing on the edge of the lava. You look down. I mean, if you've even had time to take a look at your wounds, you know you're in a very interesting spot. However, you know that Moonglow must be placed on the beacon in order to resolve this situation.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait one more turn. I see how much they're struggling. How much does the beacon weigh?
Mm.
Just your guess. Does it look huge?
It looks huge.
And
Well, hold on. It's more like large. It's large.
okay, would you say it's more than 500 pounds?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Felthrin and Sergeant McCormick are benching 500. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. Okay. So
He's
it's
picking
more.
it up, so it's. I mean, it could be. Felthrin could probably stand something up that weighed 800-900 pounds.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I will use my action this turn to dismiss etherealness. And I guess what Moonglow would see is suddenly his world of grayscale. There's a rip in it, and the bright colors of yellows and reds and oranges come pouring in, and he is able to scent for the first time that the fumes of the plain of Avernus, and he steps forth back into the world. I'm also going to use my bonus action to shift my hex onto the figure by Garandin, and that'll do it for me.
He looks at you, Hey, and he weakly stands up and says, "Oh, I did enjoy that solace. What was I gone for about 24 seconds? It pains me to be back here." And he makes one step towards the beacon and collapses a little bit. As he's unable to, you see that the steps that he would normally take have been just obliterated and shredded. He's trying to lift up one hoof upon the beacon.
I'm going to run and help him.
Was it your action to dismiss etherealness?
Yeah, but I'm just going to use move
Okay.
and just walk alongside him, basically.
It is now the demon's turn. Felthrin, they attack you and Sergeant McCormick. A 27 to hit you, Felthrin.
Yep.
13 points of damage. Garandan, they attack you. A 16. You pound him off with the shield, and you hear more demons coming. Pouring forth. At the top of their round, Zariel. Felthrin has instructed you to do something useful, and you see this unicorn struggling to put himself back in his position of holy guardianship. How do you proceed?
Well, shoot. How big is he?
Big as a horse, a large creature.
So picking him up might not be a good idea. Really, not much he can do except step up beside him, and actually start pushing him up the stairs. Hey, we need to hurry up. We got demons surrounding us, all sides, and we just can't have you just sitting there walking up the stairs. You got to run up the stairs, like literally go. So I'm gonna get behind him and push him up top that beacon.
Zariel, you get behind Moonglow and place your hands on his haunches and push him forward. You push him forward and you hear Moonglow grunt and agonize. You see the wounds that he has sustained by torture from this Merilith. He looks back at you and said, "Remember what I said, friends. Talos and I knew Zariel. Find Angel Strike. We are the Order of the Balance. It's all come back to me now." He looks at you and says in your mind, "You think you are here to right the balance. My friends, you have been destined to choose the ruler of Avernus. And by your actions, you will decide the fate of this plane for the next 3,000 years. He steps 1 foot forward, hoof onto the portal, and you begin to feel it charge with his energy, and it begins to shake. He steps another, and yet a third, and finally his back, and you see his body stand up with this radiant energy from heaven. The scent of lilies and fresh, clear water begin to illuminate from this area, and you feel the beacon begin to lift up off the ground. Felthrin, your arms are immediately relieved of the pressure. Bramble, the runes just become white hot, and your hands instinctively pull away. And then you hear Moonglow say, "Please run. And if you don't make it, I'll see you in Arcadia." And the beacon begins to light up. The radiant heat begins to build up. You sense that you have 2 rounds to get outside the radius. As more demons pour in, their mouths just wide open in filthy hate and vile, they begin to move closer and closer, climbing on top of the beacon, attempting to wrest Moonglow from his position, shielded by this guardian of light as this glass crystal orb begins to form around the unicorn. You feel the thrum, and at the top of the round, Bramble. What do you decide to do?
Bramble is going to ooh. All right. Bramble has 1 charge on this circlet left. I hate to push the easy button again.
You might say that.
Well,
speaking of the easy button, there's a piece of that teleportation we have been skipping. I am reading from the player's handbook now, so please proceed.
Okay. Bramble is going to imagine their favorite cave.
Okay.
And activate the last active rune on the circlet of teleportation. And hopefully include the whole group.
You see the infernal sergeant drop his sword to the side and see the beacon go up and says, "I did it, Zariel. By the nail of Asmodeus, we have reestablished the burning beacon."
I'll take him too.
Does he go with you?
Yeah.
Felthran's going to grab Resmir's greatsword before we leave. He's not going to let this guy leave his sword behind.
Okay. Between Felthrin and Bramble's willingness, as currently Sergeant McCormick is a friendly creature, you do need to roll a D100. You have to get a 25 to 100.
72.
Indeed, you are successful, Bramble. So as you safely take away your crew, you feel the radiant hot heat beat up as Demon's flesh is just sizzled away into ash and ichor, and lying over in the side, well within 100 radius, Smiler coughs and gurgles and looks at you, Bramble, right as you touch the circlet.
Bye.
If you would please proceed to taking your crew safely into the cave.
The feeling of teleportation is probably familiar to everyone now, even if it's not comfortable. And going from this obviously very tense scene around the beacon with the flow of lava there right next to us, it's a very sudden shift when we reemerge in the cave, and it looks like
Revelor, yeah.
And just like peace, serenity, a little bit of break from the oppressive heat, just a very, very dramatic shift.
Yeah, Garandan, Bramble, Hay, Felthrin, Zarion, Sergeant McCormick, and Professor Thaddeus. You all arrive, leaving Moonglow to his post, for this is indeed his destiny and his choice to stay here in Avernus. And as you look around, you see everything familiar, except a very muscular devil. Her head is shaven. She carries a very noticeable battle axe and warhammer. She stands there proud, surrounded by her captains, and says, "Welcome back. You may not know it, but I am Zariel, Archduchess of Avernus. This is a nice place." Sergeant McCormick straightens up, salutes, and says, "Archduchess on deck!" And then he looks to all of you to salute Zariel. Please take a moment to respond, and I will start with Bramble.
I think Bramble's going to pick up on the social cues in the situation and default to safe and salute.
Garandan.
So Garandan was cowering underneath his shield from that attack, and he's like, "By Marden's beard, that was hairy," and stops and just looks, and he straightens up, but that's about it.
Felthrin.
Felthran will lean on his hammer and give her a little nod.
Zariel.
Another feminine overlord.
Oh, she is the ruler of Avernus, and she has found your nice little safe haven. And outside in the back, you can hear her war machines just rumbling idly.
At least she looks better than Mad Maggie.
Oh, she is strikingly beautiful. Nevertheless, a devil.
Zarion will salute this lady or everyone else.
Zarion, she does a double take at you. Stops for a moment as if she recognizes you, and then turns her attention towards Hay.
He raises his arm, and there is nothing there, and he looks confused for a moment. And then he looks very sad, and then he hangs his head. I just can't.
She narrows her eyes at you, Hay. And then she holds up her hand, and you can see that where the warhammer is attached to a severed arm as well. She says, "Battle makes no discrimination, and war takes no prisoners. And my question for you in this wonderful little hideout, are you friend or are you foe?" And so for now, our story concludes. This has been a production of Sojourners Awake. Tune in to next episode to find out how the Sojourners fare now that they've met the Archduchess of Avernus, Zariel herself. And what will they do with the newfound information that Moonglow revealed to them that Zariel was once part of the Order of the Balance? And where is Angel Strike located? Thanks again to www.tabletopaudio.com for wonderful background, ambiance, and music. And may your story continue.